Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another insightful journey into the heart of our faith. Have you ever wondered about the deeper meanings behind the 99 names of Allah? These names are not just words, they're keys. Keys to unlocking divine wisdom, mercy, and strength in our lives. Today, we're going to explore how these names can transform not just our hearts, but our entire outlook on life, helping us connect to Allah in ways we may have never imagined. Let's dive in and discover the immense power and beauty hidden within each of these divine names. The number 99 holds a special place in Islamic thought, but it's not just a random figure. It's far deeper than that. For many, it's simply the number of Allah's beautiful names. But what if I told you it represents something far more profound? Imagine a doorway to the unknown, to an incredible force beyond what the human mind can grasp. The number 99 becomes the key to understanding not just Allah's attributes, but also the immense power of divine reality itself. Think about it, 99 names. These names belong to Allah, the Creator, the Sustainer, the All-Knowing. But why 99? Why not an even more complete number like 100? Could there be a reason for this? A divine purpose? And how could this specific number, combined with a list of names, have the power to influence everything, from your daily life to your ultimate destiny? The moment we begin to explore this, we find ourselves standing at the edge of something awe-inspiring. These names aren't just labels or titles. They are reflections of Allah's infinite attributes, giving us glimpses into who He is. Each name unveils a different aspect of Allah's majesty and mercy. But here's the thing. Many of us hear about the 99 names of Allah without ever taking the time to truly reflect on their deeper meanings. What do these names really represent? What power do they hold? And perhaps more importantly, how can we tap into that power? Let's be honest, most of us recite the names of Allah in our prayers, but how often do we pause to really think about them? It's easy to say Al-Rahman, the Merciful, or Al-Malik, the King. But do we grasp what these names mean for our lives? Imagine being able to connect with each of these divine attributes in a way that could change your perspective on everything, from your relationships, to your challenges, to your own self-worth. It's not just about reciting the names, it's about understanding their significance, their weight, and their potential impact on our reality. But why exactly is the number 99 so important? In the Quran, every word and every number carries deep meaning. Nothing is by chance. Islamic scholars and mystics have spent centuries pondering the importance of numbers in the Quran. Some say the number 99 symbolizes the totality of divine knowledge that Allah has chosen to reveal to us, while others suggest that it represents the many ways in which Allah makes Himself known to His creation. Yet, intriguingly, there is a missing 100th name. Could this hidden name be the one that unlocks a deeper connection with Allah? A name so powerful it remains beyond our reach? A mystery that keeps us searching, keeps us humble. To truly grasp the importance of this number, let's look at it from a different angle. Imagine the number 99 as a bridge between us and the divine. On one side of this bridge is the human experience, filled with uncertainty, limitations, and questions. On the other side is Allah's infinite wisdom, mercy, and power. The 99 names of Allah act as stepping stones, helping us move closer to Him, giving us ways to understand His attributes and feel His presence in our daily lives. But here's the twist. No matter how much we understand or how much we grow spiritually, there will always be that final step we cannot take. That's the missing 100th name, symbolizing the vastness of Allah's knowledge and power, which we can never fully comprehend. Think of it this way. The number 99 is a constant reminder of both our closeness to Allah and our distance from His ultimate reality. It humbles us, yet invites us to seek more. It's not just about knowing the names, but about living them, embodying them in our actions, and reflecting on how they relate to our personal journey with Allah. For centuries, Islamic numerologists have debated the meaning of the number 99. Some believe it represents the complete set of divine attributes that humanity can access and understand. Others propose that the missing 100th name is hidden, known only to Allah, and that its mystery is part of the divine plan to keep us searching, growing, and striving to understand our place in the universe. When you think about it, it makes sense. The number 99 isn't just a list, it's a symbol of our spiritual journey, a guide to help us navigate the complexities of life, while reminding us that there is always more to learn, always more to discover. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, gives us the tools to understand Him, but not fully. That final, ultimate knowledge remains with Him, urging us to keep striving in our faith, to keep reflecting on the names we do know. Now imagine standing at a crossroads in life, feeling unsure of which direction to take. You might feel lost or uncertain about the future. In those moments, many people turn to prayer. But here's where the 99 names of Allah come in. They are more than just words we recite. They are powerful tools we can use to connect with the specific aspect of Allah's guidance we need most. Are you seeking mercy? Call upon Al-Rahman. Are you in need of wisdom? Invoke Al-Hakim. Each name becomes a bridge, bringing us closer to Allah in the exact way we need at that time. It's easy to recite the names without reflecting on their true power. But what if we took the time to dive deeper into their meanings? What if instead of simply saying Al-Rahim, the compassionate, we truly connected with that aspect of Allah, understanding that His compassion is boundless and that we too are called to show compassion to others? Imagine the transformation that could take place, not just within us, but in our relationships, our communities, and our world. This is the beauty of the 99 names of Allah. They aren't just a list to memorize. They are pathways to spiritual growth, offering us ways to connect with Allah on a deeper level. But it requires effort, reflection, and a sincere desire to not just say the names, but to live them. In Islamic mystical traditions, particularly within Sufism, these names are considered spiritual keys. Each name unlocks a different door, revealing a new dimension of divine presence and power. For Sufis, the names are not just theological concepts. They are living realities that, when understood and invoked properly, can open doors to personal transformation. Each name carries with it a vibration, an energy that can change not only our perceptions but also the world around us. But how do we tap into this power? It's not enough to simply repeat the names in our prayers. We must engage with them, reflect on them, and allow them to shape our character and actions. When we call upon Al-Shafi, the healer, we are not just asking for physical healing. We are tapping into the divine source of all healing, trusting that Allah's wisdom will guide us through our difficulties, whether they are of the body, mind, or soul. Some scholars go even further, suggesting that each of the 99 names contains a unique vibration that can manifest in our lives when we call upon them with sincerity and faith. Think about it. When you are in need of strength, calling upon Al-Qawi, the strong, is not just a way to comfort yourself. It's a way to align your heart and mind with Allah's strength, allowing His power to flow through you in that moment of weakness. This brings us back to the question of why the number 99 is so significant. Perhaps it's because it represents the many ways in which Allah interacts with His creation. These names are not just theological terms. They are expressions of Allah's presence in our lives. Each name serves as a reminder that Allah is not distant or removed from our daily struggles. He is present in every moment, every challenge, every success, and every failure. The 99 names give us a way to access that presence, to feel connected to the divine, even when life feels overwhelming. But the number 99 also reminds us of our limitations. No matter how much we grow spiritually, no matter how many of Allah's names we memorize and reflect on, there will always be more to learn. That missing 100th name is a symbol of the infinite nature of Allah's knowledge and power, reminding us that we are always in the process of becoming, always striving to understand more, to grow closer to Allah. In a way, the 99 names of Allah act as both a guide and a challenge. They guide us toward understanding the divine attributes, helping us to see how those attributes play out in our lives. But they also challenge us to go deeper, to never stop seeking, and to always remain humble in the face of Allah's infinite wisdom. The journey doesn't end with the recitation of the names, it begins there. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us something incredible. Whoever memorizes the 99 names of Allah will enter paradise. It's a statement that catches your attention, isn't it? But then you start to wonder, is it really as simple as just memorizing them? Do we just repeat the names, list them off by heart, and that's it? We've secured our place in paradise? Or is there something more to it? Is there a deeper, hidden knowledge behind these names that we need to understand? Something that goes beyond just recitation? The beauty of the 99 names of Allah is that they are much more than words. They are doorways, pathways into a deeper understanding of who Allah is. Each name describes a divine attribute: mercy, wisdom, power, justice. But to really connect with these names, we have to go beyond just memorizing them. It's like having a map in front of you. The map itself is useful, but you need to actually follow it, walk the paths it shows you, to reach your destination. The 99 names of Allah are a spiritual map, guiding us toward a closer relationship with Him. But the journey doesn't end with just knowing the names. It starts there. For centuries, Islamic scholars and mystics have explored the depths of these names, seeking to understand the power they hold. In traditions like Sufism, the 99 names are seen as spiritual keys. Each name opens a door to a different aspect of divine reality, a different dimension of existence. Imagine standing in front of a series of doors, each one leading to a room filled with light, wisdom, and understanding. When you invoke a name like Al-Rahman, the Merciful, you're not just saying a word. You're stepping into that room, letting that mercy surround you, fill you, and flow through you. But how do we access this power? How do we truly connect with these divine attributes? The first step is reflection. It's not enough to simply recite the names without thinking about their meaning. We need to pause, reflect, and consider what each name is telling us about Allah and about ourselves. When you say Al-Rahim, the compassionate, take a moment to think about what compassion really means. Think about how Allah's compassion has touched your life. How has He shown you mercy when you least deserved it? How can you embody that compassion in your own actions, toward yourself and toward others? Some scholars suggest that the 99 names are not just attributes of Allah, but they carry within them a unique energy or vibration. When we call upon these names with sincerity and understanding, we are not just asking for something. We are aligning ourselves with that divine attribute. It's almost as if we're tuning into a frequency, like a radio dial. And by invoking a name like Al-Qadir, the powerful, we are inviting that strength and power into our lives. The act of calling on Allah by His names is not just a passive ritual, it's an active engagement with the divine. Think about it this way. If you're in a moment of weakness, feeling like you can't go on, you might call upon Al-Qawi, the strong. You're not just saying the name because it's comforting. You're reaching out, connecting with the source of all strength, and inviting that divine energy into your situation. You're aligning yourself with Allah's power, trusting that He will give you the strength you need to face whatever challenge is in front of you. It's not magic, it's not superstition. It's about understanding that Allah's attributes are not distant or abstract. They are living, active forces in the world, and when we call upon them, we are tapping into that force. Now, let's think about why these names are more than just descriptions. In many ways, they are tools for spiritual growth, for personal transformation. Each name carries with it a lesson, a way to become closer to Allah, but also a way to become a better person. Take Al-Hakim, the wise, for example. When we reflect on Allah's wisdom, we are reminded of how little we truly know. We are reminded to approach life's challenges with humility, to seek knowledge, and to make decisions with wisdom. But beyond that, invoking Al-Hakim can guide us in our own pursuit of wisdom. It's a reminder to strive for deeper understanding, to not be hasty in our judgments, and to seek the best path forward in every situation. This brings us to a profound truth. These names are not just abstract concepts. They are meant to be lived. They are meant to be reflected in our character, in our actions. When we call upon Al-Razak, the provider, we are reminded that all provision comes from Allah, but we are also called to be providers for others, to share the blessings we have been given. When we invoke Al-Adl, the just, we are reminded of Allah's perfect justice, but we are also challenged to act justly in our own lives, to be fair, to stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult. The 99 names of Allah are not just a list of attributes, they are a way of life. They guide us, shape us, and help us to reflect Allah's attributes in our own lives. But this only happens when we engage with them, when we go beyond mere recitation and allow these names to transform us from within. And then there's the mystery of the missing 100th name. For many, this is one of the most fascinating aspects of the 99 names of Allah. Why is there a missing name? What does it represent? Some Islamic traditions suggest that this 100th name is hidden, known only to Allah, and that it holds a power so great it could change the very fabric of reality. It's a name that remains beyond our reach, a name that symbolizes the ultimate mystery of Allah's essence. Even though we are given 99 names to know and understand, there will always be that one name that eludes us, reminding us of Allah's infinite nature. Some mystics believe that this missing name is not just a word, but a state of consciousness, a level of spiritual awareness that transcends human understanding. It's a name that cannot be spoken, only experienced. This idea has fascinated Islamic scholars and mystics for centuries. Could it be that this missing name is the key to unlocking a deeper connection with Allah? A connection that goes beyond words and concepts? Others believe that the 100th name is veiled because we are not yet ready to handle the power it contains. It's as if this name is reserved for a time when humanity is spiritually prepared, when we have reached a level of understanding and purity that allows us to fully grasp its significance. Until then, it remains hidden, a divine mystery that keeps us seeking, keeps us striving to grow closer to Allah. The idea of a hidden name also serves as a reminder of our own limitations. No matter how much we learn, how much we grow spiritually, there will always be aspects of Allah's nature that are beyond our comprehension. It keeps us humble, keeps us in awe of His greatness. But at the same time, it also keeps us searching, keeps us yearning for a deeper connection with our Creator. In the pursuit of this hidden name, many Islamic mystics have embarked on spiritual journeys, seeking to uncover the deeper truths of Allah's attributes. For some, this search is not about finding a literal name, but about reaching a state of spiritual purity, where they are able to experience Allah's presence in a profound and transformative way. It's about transcending the limits of human understanding and entering into a state of divine awareness. And perhaps that's the point. The 99 names of Allah are not just words to memorize. They are an invitation to embark on a journey of spiritual discovery, a journey that takes us closer to Allah, but also deeper into ourselves. Each name reveals a new aspect of Allah's nature, but it also reveals something about our own nature, about who we are and who we are meant to become. The 99 names of Allah are a gift, a divine gift that gives us access to a deeper understanding of the world, of ourselves, and of Allah. But like any gift, they must be opened, explored, and cherished. They are not just names to be recited, they are attributes to be lived, to be embodied, and to be reflected in our daily lives. When we call upon Al-Rahman, we are asking for mercy, but we are also called to show mercy. When we invoke Al-Hakim, we seek wisdom, but we are also called to act with wisdom. These names shape us, mold us, and guide us toward becoming better, more compassionate, more just human beings. They are a constant reminder that Allah is always present, always near, and always ready to guide us if we are willing to seek Him. And that is where the real power of the 99 names lies. It's not just in knowing them, it's in living them. It's in allowing these divine attributes to permeate every aspect of our lives, to transform the way we see the world, the way we interact with others, and the way we understand our relationship with Allah. The 99 names are a pathway to spiritual growth, a guide to personal transformation, and a reminder that no matter where we are on our journey, there is always more to discover, always more to learn, always more to experience. So, when you reflect on the 99 names of Allah, remember that they are not just words, they are keys. Keys that unlock the doors to deeper understanding, to greater wisdom, and to a closer relationship with Allah. And as you walk through those doors, you may find that the journey is just beginning. Quantum physics teaches us that everything in the universe is made of energy, vibrations, and frequencies. It's mind-blowing when you think about it, right? Every single thing we see, feel, or even think about is vibrating at some level. And these vibrations interact with each other in ways we're still just beginning to understand. But here's the fascinating part. Some scholars and scientists have started to explore the connection between this modern scientific understanding and the spiritual teachings found in Islam. And one of the areas where this connection is most striking is with the 99 names of Allah. Imagine for a second that each of the 99 names of Allah represents a unique frequency, a divine vibration that resonates through the universe. When you say Al-Rahman, the Merciful, you're not just uttering a word, you're tapping into a specific vibration, a frequency of mercy that Allah has placed in the universe. And when we call upon these names, we're aligning our own vibrations with those divine frequencies, tuning ourselves to the higher, more harmonious vibrations of Allah's attributes. It's almost like tuning a musical instrument. When the strings are off, the sound is chaotic, dissonant. But when you tune it properly, everything falls into place, and the music becomes beautiful, harmonious. The 99 names of Allah help us tune ourselves spiritually. They bring us into alignment with divine attributes like mercy, wisdom, strength, and justice. And once we're in tune with these attributes, it changes the way we move through the world. Our actions, our thoughts, our emotions all start to reflect that divine harmony. But here's the thing. It's not just about reciting the names as if they're magic words. It's about understanding what they represent, reflecting on their meanings, and letting those meanings shape the way we live our lives. When you say Al-Hakim, the wise, for instance, it's not just a way of asking for wisdom. It's about opening yourself to Allah's wisdom and making a conscious effort to act wisely, to seek knowledge, to make decisions with thoughtfulness and care. It's about tuning your life to that frequency of divine wisdom. And it's not just individuals who benefit from this alignment. Communities, too, can tune themselves to these divine frequencies. Imagine a society where the justice of Al-Adl, the just, is the norm, where people treat each other with fairness, respect, and honesty. Or a community where the mercy of Al-Rahman flows through every interaction, where people are quick to forgive, to show kindness, and to help those in need. These aren't just abstract ideals. They're real possibilities when we truly embody the 99 names of Allah in our everyday lives. Now think about the power of sound itself. In the Quran, Allah created the universe with a single word, kun, be. And with that command, everything came into existence. If a word from Allah can bring the entire universe into being, what does that say about the power of the 99 names of Allah? Each one of these names holds a creative power, a force that shapes reality. When we recite these names, we're not just praising Allah, we're participating in that creative process. We're invoking the same power that shaped the universe and aligning ourselves with it. It's almost like we're taking part in a divine symphony, where each name is a note that contributes to the harmony of the whole. And when we recite the names with sincerity, with understanding, We're not just listening to the music, we're playing it. We're creating beauty, order, and meaning in our lives and in the world around us. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some scholars suggest that when we invoke the 99 names of Allah, we're not just calling upon attributes like mercy or wisdom in an abstract sense. We're actually inviting those attributes to manifest in our own lives. When you call upon Al-Razzaq, the provider, for example, you're not just asking Allah to provide for you. You're tuning into the divine frequency of provision and opening yourself up to receive what Allah has already placed in the universe for you. It's a shift in perspective, a way of aligning your heart and mind with the flow of divine abundance. And this isn't just about material provision. It's about spiritual sustenance too. When you invoke Al-Razzaq, you're acknowledging that everything you need, whether it's physical resources, emotional support, or spiritual nourishment, comes from Allah. And by aligning yourself with that attribute, you become more open to receiving it in all its forms. It's like flipping a switch in your soul that says, I trust in Allah's provision, and I'm ready to receive it. This idea of alignment goes even deeper when we think about the 99 names as not just descriptions of Allah, but as invitations for us to reflect those same attributes in our own lives. Take Al-Karim, the generous, for instance. When we call upon Allah's generosity, we're not just asking for something, we're also being reminded of our own capacity to be generous. We're being called to share our blessings, to give without hesitation, just as Allah gives to us without limit. Or think about Al-Halim, the forbearing. When we invoke this name, we're not only asking for Allah's patience with us, we're also being reminded to show patience in our own lives, to be slow to anger and quick to forgive. These names are not just about Allah. They're about how we can better align ourselves with His attributes, how we can reflect His light in our actions, our choices, and our relationships. When you start to see the 99 names of Allah in this way, it changes everything. Suddenly, they're not just words you say during prayer. They become active forces in your life, guiding you, shaping you, and helping you grow closer to Allah. It's like carrying a compass with you at all times, pointing you in the direction of divine truth. Now let's talk about what happens when we live in alignment with these names, when we don't just recite them, but embody them. The impact isn't just personal. It radiates outward, affecting everyone around us. Imagine a community where the mercy of Al-Rahman is not just something people talk about, but something they practice. A place where compassion flows naturally, where people go out of their way to help each other, to care for those in need. That's what happens when a community aligns itself with the 99 names of Allah. It becomes a place of peace, a reflection of divine harmony on earth. And this isn't just some idealistic dream. Throughout Islamic history, we've seen examples of communities that were transformed by the practice of living in alignment with these names. During times of conflict or hardship, the invocation of names like Al-Salam, the source of peace, brought people together, healed divisions, and inspired movements of spiritual renewal. These names have the power to shape not just individuals, but entire societies. But it all starts with personal transformation. The 99 names of Allah are not just tools for societal change, they're tools for personal growth. When you focus on a name like Al-Rahim, the compassionate, you start to develop that quality within yourself. You become more compassionate, more understanding, more willing to forgive. And as you embody that attribute, it changes the way you interact with others. Your relationships become stronger, more meaningful, because they're rooted in mercy and understanding. The same is true for other names. When you focus on Al-Hakim, the wise, you start to make decisions with greater wisdom and clarity. When you reflect on Al-Ghaffar, the forgiving, you find it easier to let go of grudges and to extend forgiveness to others. It's like these names act as mirrors, reflecting back to us the qualities we need to cultivate in our own lives. And the more we embody these attributes, the closer we grow to Allah. After all, isn't that the ultimate goal of worship? To draw nearer to Allah, to reflect His light in our own lives, and to live in a way that pleases Him. The 99 names of Allah are more than just descriptions of who He is. They're invitations for us to become better versions of ourselves, to align our actions with His divine will, and to reflect His attributes in everything we do. But here's the really powerful part. When we live in alignment with these names, it not only transforms us, it transforms the world around us. Imagine a world where more people lived by the names of Allah, where mercy, wisdom, justice, and generosity were not just ideals, but everyday realities. A world where communities were built on compassion, understanding, and fairness. It might sound utopian, but it's not impossible. It starts with each of us choosing to live by these names, to embody them in our lives, and to share them with others. And this transformation isn't just about creating a better world here and now. It's also about preparing for the hereafter. Islamic scholars teach that by reflecting on the 99 names of Allah, we're not only improving our lives in this world, but we're also preparing ourselves for what comes after death. These names help us to live in a way that is pleasing to Allah, to develop the qualities that will bring us peace in this life and the next. Think about the name Al-Wadud, the loving. By focusing on Allah's love, we remind ourselves that divine love awaits us in the afterlife. And when we embody that love in our relationships, we're creating a reflection of that divine love here on earth. The same goes for names like Al-Ghaffar, the forgiving, and Al-Hakim, the wise. By living these attributes, we're preparing ourselves not just for a better life here, but for the eternal life that awaits us. In the final moments of our lives, when we invoke the names of Allah, they bring peace and clarity. They remind us of His mercy, His love, His wisdom, and His justice. And when we leave this world, we do so with the comfort that we are returning to the source of all these attributes, the Creator who has been guiding us all along. Imagine for a moment a world where every person, every family, and every community is fully aligned with the 99 names of Allah. A world where mercy, justice, compassion, and wisdom are not just concepts we hear about, but lived realities. What would that look like? Can you picture how different life would be if entire communities truly embodied these divine attributes in everything they did? It's an incredible thought, isn't it? When we start reflecting on the 99 names of Allah, it's easy to focus on how they affect us individually, how they help us to grow, to transform, to become better people. But what happens when that personal transformation ripples outward, touching not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us? That's when we begin to see the power of these names on a community-wide scale. It's like a light that spreads from person to person, gradually illuminating an entire society. Think about a name like Al-Adl, the just. In a world where justice is often hard to find, where inequality and unfairness can feel overwhelming, imagine what it would be like if entire communities made a commitment to embody divine justice. What would it look like if every decision, whether it's in a court of law, in a family dispute, or even in a casual interaction, was made with fairness and honesty? The ripple effect would be transformative. Justice would no longer be something we only hope for, it would become the norm. And when justice becomes the foundation of a community, everything changes. People feel secure, they trust each other more, and they are empowered to contribute positively to the collective well-being. Now think about Al-Rahman, the merciful. Mercy is one of the most powerful qualities that Allah demonstrates, and it's one we desperately need more of in the world today. Imagine living in a community where people are quick to forgive, where they show kindness even when it's difficult, where mercy is extended not just to friends and family, but to strangers, to those who have wronged us, to the vulnerable, and even to the environment. What kind of peace would that create? Mercy is more than just an act of kindness. It's a way of healing wounds, of building connections, and of creating a culture of empathy and understanding. And what about Al-Salam, the source of peace? Imagine a world where peace is more than the absence of conflict. A world where peace flows through every interaction, every relationship, every decision. It's not just about avoiding war or violence. It's about cultivating inner peace, family peace, and societal peace. When communities embody al-Salam, they create an environment where people feel safe, valued, and respected. It's a place where people can grow, thrive, and live their best lives. Peace isn't just a dream, it's something we can create when we align ourselves with Allah's attributes. The 99 names of Allah offer us a blueprint for how to build strong, thriving communities. Communities where the qualities of mercy, justice, wisdom, compassion, and peace are not just ideals, but everyday realities. And this is not just wishful thinking. Throughout Islamic history, we've seen examples of communities that have come together around these divine attributes, especially during times of hardship. During moments of crisis, when everything seemed to be falling apart, people turned to the names of Allah for guidance, for strength, and for hope. These names became a source of renewal, helping to heal divisions, rebuild trust, and restore a sense of unity and purpose. But it all starts with us, individually. It's easy to talk about building better communities, but it's much harder to do the inner work required to bring those changes about. The 99 names of Allah are not just external concepts that we can apply to society. They are attributes we must first embody ourselves. When we begin to live these names, when we align our actions, thoughts, and intentions with them, we become agents of change in the world around us. And that's where the real power lies. The more we reflect these divine attributes in our own lives, the more they will ripple outward, touching the lives of those around us and ultimately transforming our communities. And this transformation isn't just something that affects the world we live in now. It's something that carries over into the hereafter. The 99 names of Allah not only guide us toward living a more fulfilling, meaningful life in this world, but also prepare us for the moment we leave it. Reflecting on these names, embodying them in our daily lives, brings us closer to Allah, which is the ultimate goal of every believer. By living in alignment with these divine attributes, we are not just creating a better life here. We are preparing ourselves for what comes next. There's a beautiful teaching in Islam that in our final moments, when we are about to leave this world, invoking the names of Allah can bring us peace and clarity. Imagine that moment, the end of our earthly journey, when everything we've done, everything we've learned, and everything we've become will come together as we prepare to meet our Creator. In those moments, the names of Allah will serve as a source of comfort, reminding us of His mercy, His love, His justice, and His wisdom. We will remember that Allah is Al-Ghaffar, the forgiving, and that His mercy is boundless. We will know that we are returning to Al-Wadud, the loving, whose love for us is greater than we can ever imagine. The 99 names of Allah are not just a guide for this life. They are a preparation for the next. Islamic scholars teach that invoking these names, living them, and reflecting on them is one of the best ways to prepare ourselves for the hereafter. Each time we call upon these names, we are aligning ourselves with Allah's attributes, and in doing so, we are preparing our hearts and souls for the ultimate encounter with our Creator. It's a beautiful cycle. Living in this world according to the names of Allah helps us to prepare for the next. And the more we live by these names, the closer we grow to Allah. But this journey is not just about death. It's about living a life that is full of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. When we live by the names of Allah, we are not just preparing for the afterlife. We are creating a life in this world that is rich in love, mercy, justice, and wisdom. We are creating a life that reflects the divine, a life that brings us closer to Allah every single day. The real beauty of the 99 names of Allah is that they remind us of who Allah is, but they also remind us of who we are meant to be. We are meant to be reflections of these divine attributes in our everyday lives. We are meant to show mercy, to act with justice, to live with wisdom, and to spread peace. The more we embody these names, the more we become the kind of people who are prepared to meet Allah with hearts that are full of light, love, and faith. One of the most profound teachings in Islam is the concept of the Ism al-Azam, the supreme name of Allah. Many scholars believe that this is a name so powerful, so profound, that if someone truly knew it and invoked it sincerely, their prayers would be answered without any barrier. It's a name that holds within it the essence of all the other names, a name that is a key to unlocking divine power and knowledge in ways that we can't even begin to comprehend. But here's the thing. No one knows exactly what this supreme name is. There are traditions that suggest it is hidden, that it's a secret known only to Allah and those whom He chooses to reveal it to. This has led to centuries of spiritual exploration, as scholars, mystics, and seekers have tried to uncover the mystery of this hidden name. Some believe that the supreme name is not just a word, it's a state of being, a level of consciousness that transcends language and thought. It's not something you can find in a book or a list. It's something that can only be experienced through deep spiritual connection with Allah. Others believe that the supreme name is hidden for a reason. Perhaps humanity is not yet ready to handle the power it holds. Perhaps it is a name that will only be revealed in the end times, when the world is ready for a level of divine revelation that can reshape reality itself. The idea of this hidden name keeps us humble. It reminds us that no matter how much we know, no matter how much we grow spiritually, there will always be aspects of Allah's nature that are beyond our understanding. The search for the supreme name is not just about uncovering a secret. It's about embarking on a spiritual journey. It's about seeking deeper levels of connection with Allah, about striving to purify our hearts and souls so that we might one day be worthy of receiving such knowledge. It's a reminder that the path to Allah is one of constant growth, constant seeking, and constant humility. We may never know the supreme name in this life, but the journey of seeking it brings us closer to Allah, and that, in itself, is a profound blessing. This is where the 99 names of Allah come full circle. They are not just a list of attributes, they are a roadmap, a guide to help us on our journey toward Allah. They teach us who Allah is, but they also teach us who we are and who we are meant to become. And as we grow in our understanding of these names, as we live by them, reflect on them, and embody them in our daily lives, we find ourselves drawing closer to the ultimate source of all wisdom, mercy, justice, and love, Allah Himself. It's a journey that never truly ends. Every time we reflect on the 99 names of Allah, we discover something new. Each name opens up a new door of understanding, a new path to spiritual growth. And the deeper we go, the more we realize that the true power of these names lies not just in knowing them, but in living them. Living a life that reflects the divine attributes of Allah, a life that is filled with mercy, justice, wisdom, and peace, is the greatest act of worship we can offer. The 99 names of Allah are much more than just words to memorize. They are a treasure, a divine gift that we've been given to help us understand not only who Allah is, but how we can live our lives in a way that is deeply connected to Him. When we start to really think about these names, not just as a list, but as living qualities that can transform our hearts, minds, and souls, everything begins to shift. Each name is like a key, unlocking a new layer of understanding, a new level of closeness to Allah. But what does that actually look like in our daily lives? It's easy to think of these names as something separate from us, like we're just reciting them as part of our prayers, but they're far more personal than that. Imagine waking up each day and carrying these names with you, not just in your mind, but in your actions, in the way you treat others, in the way you handle challenges, in the way you speak and think. It's a way of living that aligns you with divine attributes. Let's say you're going through a tough time. Maybe you're overwhelmed with stress or struggling with difficult relationships. Calling upon Allah's name, Al-Sabur, the patient, doesn't just remind you that Allah is patient. It encourages you to practice patience yourself, to breathe, to trust in the divine timing of things. You start to see that patience isn't just a virtue, it's a reflection of Allah's wisdom in how life unfolds. Or take the name Al-Wadud, the loving. In a world where love can sometimes feel conditional or scarce, reflecting on Allah's infinite love changes your perspective. When you start to really internalize that Allah loves you unconditionally, without limits, it becomes easier to love others without expecting anything in return. You become kinder, more understanding, more forgiving. You start to see that love isn't something that runs out. It's something that grows the more you give it, especially when that love is rooted in your connection with Allah. And think about how the name Al-Hakim, the wise, can influence your decisions. Life is full of moments where we have to choose, sometimes between difficult options, and it's easy to get lost in our emotions, in the stress of trying to make the right decision. But when you reflect on Allah's wisdom, it becomes a guiding light. You realize that Allah sees the whole picture, the things we can't possibly know or understand. Trusting in Al-Hakim means you're able to make decisions with more clarity, with the faith that Allah's wisdom will guide you, even if the path ahead seems uncertain. It's not just about making the right choices. It's about aligning your will with Allah's wisdom and trusting in His plan. Now imagine the ripple effect of living by these names. The more you embody them, the more they begin to transform not just you, but the people around you. Your patience, your kindness, your love, your wisdom, they all start to affect your family, your friends, your community. You become a reflection of the divine attributes that you've been meditating on and practicing. It's like a light that you carry with you, shining into the lives of others, helping to create a more compassionate, just, and peaceful world. It's easy to overlook just how powerful this process of transformation can be. We often think of worship as something that happens during specific moments, prayer, fasting, charity. But the 99 names of Allah remind us that worship is not limited to certain actions. It's a way of life. When you start to live in alignment with these names, your whole existence becomes an act of worship. Every time you show mercy, every time you act with wisdom, every time you offer kindness or forgiveness, you are living out the attributes of Allah. You are making the divine visible in your actions. And this process of living by the names of Allah doesn't just bring us closer to Him, it brings us closer to ourselves. We start to see our own potential, the person we're capable of becoming. We realize that the names of Allah are not just descriptions of His nature. They are an invitation for us to reflect those same qualities. When you embody Al-Rahim, the compassionate, you're not just showing compassion to others. You're also showing it to yourself. You're learning to forgive yourself, to be gentle with your own flaws, to give yourself space to grow and change. It's a journey of self-compassion as much as it is a journey of divine connection. What's more, living by these names helps us to remember that we are never alone. Each name reminds us of a specific aspect of Allah's presence in our lives. When you're feeling lost, Al-Hadi, the guide, is there, showing you the way. When you're feeling broken, Al-Jabbar, the restorer, is there to heal you. When you're afraid, Al-Mu'min, the giver of security, wraps you in His protection. There is a name for every situation, every emotion, every challenge we face. It's like Allah has given us a roadmap, not just to understand Him better, but to navigate the complexities of life with His guidance and support. The more we live in alignment with these names, the more our relationship with Allah deepens. It's no longer just about asking for things or seeking forgiveness. It becomes a partnership, a constant dialogue, where you're not only turning to Allah in your times of need, but also reflecting His qualities in your everyday life. You're actively participating in your own spiritual growth, constantly working on becoming a better person, closer to the divine, and more aligned with the qualities that Allah has revealed to us through His names. And in that process, something amazing happens. You start to see the world differently. You begin to recognize the traces of these divine attributes all around you. You see mercy in the way a parent holds their child. You see wisdom in the way the seasons change. in the ebb and flow of life. You see strength in the resilience of someone who keeps going despite the odds. The world becomes a reflection of Allah's attributes, and suddenly everything feels connected, purposeful, divine. But the journey doesn't end here. The 99 names of Allah are an endless well of wisdom and guidance. No matter how much you reflect on them, no matter how deeply you embody them, there is always more to learn, more to discover. That's the beauty of these names. They are infinite, just like Allah. Every time you think you've reached a new level of understanding, there's another layer waiting to be explored. The names of Allah also teach us something profound about the nature of worship. They remind us that worship isn't just about rituals, it's about transformation. It's about becoming a person who reflects Allah's attributes in everything they do. It's about letting go of the ego, the selfish desires, and allowing yourself to be shaped by these divine qualities. When you embody the names of Allah, you're not just worshiping Him with your words. You're worshiping Him with your entire being, with the way you live your life, with the way you interact with the world. And through this transformation, we find ourselves not just becoming better people, but also preparing ourselves for the ultimate encounter with Allah. The names of Allah guide us through this life, but they also prepare us for what comes next. When we live by these names, we are not only bringing light into this world, we are preparing our souls for the eternal light that awaits us in the hereafter. Each name is like a key that unlocks a door, not just in this life, but in the life to come. The more we live by these names, the more we are preparing ourselves for the moment when we will meet Allah, when we will return to Him, insha'Allah, as people who have strived to reflect His attributes in everything we did. The final question that remains is this: are we ready to truly live by these names? Are we ready to take on the responsibility that comes with reflecting Allah's attributes in our lives? It's a journey, one that requires patience, dedication, and constant self-reflection. But it's also a journey that brings us closer to Allah, closer to ourselves, and closer to the divine purpose for which we were created. The 99 names of Allah are a gift, a guide, and an invitation. An invitation to not just know Allah, but to live in a way that reflects His light in every corner of our lives. Alhamdulillah, we've had the chance to reflect on the profound meanings behind the 99 names of Allah. Each name invites us to live a life filled with mercy, wisdom, and love, guiding us closer to our Creator every day. As we go forward, let's try to embody these attributes, making them a part of our daily actions and thoughts. May Allah grant us the strength to live by His names and draw us ever closer to Him. Jazakumullahu khairan for joining us today, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.